Well, hello new songers, this is Will. In this video, what we're going to be doing is going over how to get the in-ear monitor mixing program installed on our iPhones. We're just going to be covering iPhone today. There is actually an Android app, but it's a little bit less focused toward mixing the monitor mixes and more focused towards actually using all the board controls. And the nice thing about the iPhone app is that it really only gives you the capability to change your in-ear monitor and stage monitor mixes. So first of all, what we're going to do is open up the App Store. Okay, now I basically already have the program searched for, but if you basically search for x32 space Q or dash, doesn't really matter. This should be the only program that opens up. So what you're going to do is go ahead and install that, and then once you do so, you'll have the ability to open it. Let's do that. Okay, so here's the first screen that you hit. Basically, this program is essentially just a remote interface for some of the soundboard capabilities. So of course you need to actually have the soundboard on the network somewhere, and you need to be able to connect to it. So the IP address shown on my phone right here is probably different than what it's actually going to be once we have it set up at church. But what we'll do is we'll actually in person, we'll get you hooked up to the special wireless network for the board control, and we'll get you set up with the IP address. But we'll do that in person, so everybody on YouTube can't see what our wireless password and IP address is going to be for this board. All right, so basically, once you have the right IP address and you're on the wireless network and everything, you can just click connect here. So I'll just give it a second. It's got to go find the board. Okay, so yeah, the first time it's going to take a little bit because it's got to first of all figure out if the board is there. So here we go. The little light shows that the wireless signal, at least for basically just connecting to the board, is working. And now I have the ability to push done. If you noticed before, the done was grayed out. So I'll push done, and it'll open us back into the, this is like the first menu that you're going to get to. And you actually will see that you come up to stage left as like the first thing you hit, because basically at the top here it shows you which monitor mix you are currently controlling. And so the way our board is set up, if you click on this section up here, it just got dark, then it'll open up and it'll allow you to select which monitor mix you want to listen to. Now the way the board's laid out right now, we only have the left and right stage speaker mixes, and then we have a mix for drummer, and then I'm actually going to name them Will, Rachel, Dan, vocal 1 and 2. And as we get more familiar with the system, we can create more and more. We can have up to 16 separate monitor mixes, but right now we don't even have that many channels running up to the stage. So basically how it's going to work is that drummer, Will, Rachel, Dan, whatever, will each be like an individual channel on the hearback monitor system. Basically, I'm just going to do like a quick run through, and I'm recording the output of stage left. So I'm going to go back in here and select that. But say if you were one of the backup vocals, you would select vocal 1, and then you would maybe start controlling that. Or if you're Dan, then you'd control it like that. I probably will always have mine selected. But the cool thing about this is that anybody has the ability to change anybody's monitor mixes. So say you don't have an iPhone and you're a backup singer, and you want to get a little bit more or less of somebody in the stage monitors. Well, what you can do is ask whoever's leading worship. It'll either be me, Rachel, or Dan, and we're all going to have this program. Or you can talk to the person, whoever's next to you or whatever, and say, can you go on to the stage right monitor and adjust something for me? And so, yeah, we can have much closer control, because basically what we want to do is give the people on stage the control of the sound on stage, and the people back at the board control over sound into the congregation speakers. It's kind of just a nice way to separate our responsibilities, and it's just way easier for me to know exactly how much I want to adjust somebody up or down, so I have complete control over every channel into the hearbacks. Okay, so basically, let's just say I'm adjusting stage left. Okay, so I have selected stage left, and I'm going to click done. So I get back to this menu. Okay, so this is basically the like master volume for the whole thing. So we'll probably have to figure out what a good setting is on the hearbacks, but probably the hearback would be set to like 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock or something like that, and then this is what would control like that, like the master volume feeding into the hearback system from the soundboard. But let me start up some music real quick. All right, so you can see that now it's actually getting signal, and it's kind of cool. You have like a little level meter here thing, so you can kind of see if those signals are too hot or something. You can let the sound person know. If everything is just totally staying in the red the whole time, then you have a problem probably. But I have it, the master volume for this send is like all the way down right now, as you can see. So I'm just gonna bring it up. Okay, well, I'm back after a couple days, and some technical difficulties / Christmas kind of happened between earlier, like a couple seconds ago, and right now. Alright, so here's what happens when we actually bring the level up, and there's actually signal playing. Okay, so basically, in the video, I have routed in my voice and the bus mix as you would hear it just in your headphones. So my voice isn't coming through the bus. That's a separate channel that I mixed into the video. But basically, the music that you hear is all being controlled by this bus. Okay, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit so we can kind of hear what I'm doing. So right now it's like a pretty flat mix. Everything is the same. This would be like maybe like the lead worship leader would probably mix like this, maybe, depending on how they like to listen to this stuff. But hey, that's the beauty of this whole process, is that we get to mix it however we want. Okay, so let's turn our device sideways. Okay, so we just rotate like this. Now, when you rotate sideways like this, it shows you every single channel on the whole entire soundboard. So if you scroll over to the first page, as the little dots on the top show you where you are, it's channels 1 through 8, and then you go to 9 through 16, and then over here is all the vocal tracks. I have no vocals in here right now just because I just made a really stupid little MIDI loop of some instruments playing just so we can kind of demonstrate what's going on here. And you see this channel right here is actually my voice. I'm routing it through the audio interface in the soundboard into my computer, so it's not actually going through the bus right now, and I'm going to keep it that way so we don't have a weird, like, strange sounding version of my voice. You can see that some of the channels we don't even use, they're blacked out because basically we don't have that many things to plug into our board, which is kind of a good problem to have. You'd rather have that than too much stuff, not enough channels. So let's just say I'm the drummer right now. I don't necessarily need to hear as much of the keyboard, but I would like to hear more of myself. So as you can see, these channels with the little link right here, you only have to grab one side of it and it'll actually adjust the other because it's basically a left-right pair. So that's the keyboards. Maybe I don't need as much keyboard, just enough to hear maybe what the chords they're playing and if they're changing section or something. But I do like a lot of bass, so I'm going to keep that up. Maybe I don't want any cowbell because maybe Kevin or Chris or Felix or somebody's over there doing aux percussion, and maybe that's just a little distracting. So I'm just going to take out cowbell, okay? Maybe I want my snare to be mixed a little bit louder, or my hi-hat, sorry. You can turn it up. It only gives you the ability to boost a little bit, but if you really wanted to hear only your hi-hat, you could just drag everything else down. Okay? So it's kind of better sometimes to turn everything else down than to boost one thing up really high. If you need more volume, then of course you can go back to the master and turn this up, or you can go over to your hearback station and turn up your channel there as well, because you know there's a master headphone level plus the level from this channel that you'll be able to adjust. All right, so let's go back. Let's just say I'm a vocalist, and what's really important to me is I don't know. Maybe what's important to me is hearing the keys. I don't really care about bass that much because it doesn't help me find my notes or anything. So I'll turn keys up a little bit. Maybe it's nice to have that kind of fast metronomic hi-hat thing going on. Maybe I want less of that. Maybe I just like the click track basically, which is whoever's playing percussion on the cowbell. Maybe kick drum is nice too, just to tell where the changes of the bars are. I don't know. So who else could we be? We could be the bass player. Maybe bass player doesn't need as much keys, but it's nice to hear themselves. Maybe you don't care about cowbell as much, but you want that hi-hat, and kick and snare is what you're basically listening to as a bass player. This is basically the mix I would listen to if I was playing bass. You know, it's like you don't need as much keys and stuff, but you just got to be locked into that kick and snare of the drummer. Yeah, okay. All right, let's see, what else could we do? Maybe I'm keys, and I need a lot of myself. Probably going to add a lot of whichever vocal I'm in. I don't know which it would be right now, because we kind of decide that once we have all the new microphones and everything set up. Bass is kind of nice as a keyboard player, so you kind of know where to keep your left hand not going too deep into the bass territory. But maybe you don't need as much snare and kick. Maybe it's just nice to have some kind of idea of just the tempo that's going on. Oh, look at that. I got a nice little reminder. So yeah, that's basically how this works, okay? You've got your master volume for your bus. You've got the ability to choose which bus you're working on. I don't have any of these other ones routed into the video right now, so it wouldn't make any sense to investigate them. But say if you were the drummer for that week, then you would pick this, and then your adjustments would be controlling the drum bus mix and nothing else, okay? So it's quite simple actually, but it's just quite different, so it's kind of something that we're going to have to get used to. So I will put you out of your misery by ending this little loop that I made. But yeah, that's basically how it's going to work. So any questions that we're inevitably going to have, just come talk to me. I'm going to hopefully train in all the other worship leaders so that we can all basically help you guys out. And that will be cool once we get this kind of working, because then we can adjust what we need to adjust. We don't have to stop practice and try to get the sound person's attention. Just open up your phone, change what you need to change, and worship God. All right, so cool. Obviously, we'll be available to answer questions, any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to put this thing into practice and see what we can do with it. So, all right, see you guys in church. Bye.